Hello, Scorpio. Welcome to Dove and Serpent Tarot. My name is Paul. If Scorpio is your sun, moon, or rising sign, this is your tarot card reading. Remember to hit the like button, leave a comment. Consider subscribing to the channel, especially if this reading resonates with you. If there is anything you would like me to pray over, or meditate upon, or send positive energy toward, please let me know. Now, this is a general reading, so try to be open and receptive to whatever may come through during our time together. I am merely the messenger, and I ask you to connect directly with each of these cards and use your own intuition to take you beyond the details that I provide. And remember, Scorpio, that the most important part of any tarot reading is you. And look at that. This is the Scorpio power card, the fixed water energy, the Prince of Cups. We got to ring the bell for that one. Okay. This is a card of authenticity. Yeah. You are someone who is striving to always be true and authentic in their own energy, to be able to walk into a room and not be overwhelmed by the vibrations of that room, spiritually, mentally, emotionally, or physically overwhelmed. We're striving to stay true to who we are, okay? I think that you're learning how to bring your own inner truth out. We're communicating our emotions. We are being very honest with ourselves about what we want, what we don't want, okay? I think we're going for a major upgrade in life. I think we're done letting the world change us too much. Okay, we got to put this card into a little bit of context. We got to see what is going on in your life. This feels really, really good. Okay, feels like there's something inside of you that's trying to emerge through this, through the watery energy, the emotional energy. There's something real and something pure and true inside of you that you're trying to give expression to. There we have the Queen of Wands. We have an 8 of Pentacles. We have the Chariot. We have a 6 of Pentacles. We have an Ace of Wands. Oh, goodness. That feels good. We have the Moon card. We have a 2 of Wands. We have the Magician. And a 10. Oh, gosh, a 10 of Pentacles. That is awesome. This is pure manifestation here. Okay? You are the Magician. And it's important with the Magician that we understand some of its shadow side, okay? Because the Magician is in that position of what we don't want, our fear, worry, concern. The Magician is a very adaptable energy. The Magician can adapt to anything. The Magician is like, one of those contestants on that show, like Alone. They just get dumped in a wilderness somewhere, and it's just, okay, here you go. Find your water, your shelter, your food. See if you can make it. See how long you can survive, right? And they do. And the Magician can be drop shipped anywhere and say, this is what's around me and I'll make it work. This is what I have to deal with and I will adapt. Very, very adaptable. But just because you can adapt to anything, Scorpio, does not mean you should. I think you have been adapting to something that now you're realizing it's not who I am. It doesn't sit well with me. Okay, let's select our mystery card, bonus card, confirmation card. This is a random card from the Smith-Waite Tarot. This is the factor infinite and unknown. We'll set it down right over here with Alien, Simon Mork Ripley, right there on top. We're not going to look at that card until the very end. It will tie everything together. It will give us the confirmation that we need at the end of the reading. If at any moment during this message you feel like you might know what that card could be, put your prediction in the comment section down below. Let's do it together. Yeah, let's use our intuition. So, as we look around the room, we see major, major, major. Okay? The Chariot behind you, we have been trying to preserve something, and trying to hold something together, okay? A hedge against entropy, because we've been afraid of something So we've been adapting to the conditions of life and trying to hold something together that I think as we move into the Scorpio energy, your Prince of Cups feels like we need to allow for the dissolution. Okay? This is the arc, and we've been trying to preserve the life, preserve some relationship, preserve some situation, preserve something. Okay? We've been devoted and loyal to something, but I think what the message is here is that we need to allow it to dissolve. And that's where we get also our Queen of Wands, yeah? So we have our majors. We got fire, fire, fire. A little bit of water right there in the middle. We don't have any air cards. Then we have earth, earth, and earth. Fire, fire, fire. Earth, earth, earth. What is fire and earth? All together now. It's the spiritual electrical circuit of creation, the art and science, the technique of manifestation. Fire to earth, above to below, heaven to earth, inside to outside, impulse to behavior, will to action, inspiration to implementation. Will to action. Okay? And that's what this is all about for you, how you are manifesting your life. That's why the magician is in this awkward position of being like, this is kind of like this is the fear, this is the anxiety. This is something that's kind of the challenge, the obstacle for us. Being the magician isn't just the one that can adapt. It's not just, I have to take this basket of ingredients, like I'm on that show Chopped, right? I have to take this basket of ingredients, and that's all I can do. I have to somehow use all of this. That's my job, is to make the best out of what's around. Instead of changing what's around, or changing what I'm around, changing what's around me. The magician, as we know, can change internal reality. I can change personal reality, personality, and I can change the external personal reality. I can change the universe. I can change the world. Okay? So we have to do a combination of adapting and changing our circumstances. It's a mixture of both. Yeah. And I think a good magician knows that. I don't feel like I just stay exactly the same. The world has to conform to me. No. I don't feel like I have to always be the one to change my shape to fit into what's around me. No, not that either. It's got to be a two-way street. It's got to be a flow. Okay, it's got to be reciprocating. I change, I adapt, and therefore I have more influence over my environment. The environment, of course, is going to have an influence on me. It's all alchemy. Okay. So anyway, the Queen of Wands here is a card that's dealing with an ending. Or we should say maybe at least considering the ending. This is the task before you. It's the position 2, the battlefield. This is your quest right now. How do we do kind of a clean break? How do we look at the truth in our life, look at ourselves, look at our authenticity, tap into our true selves here, and bring something that we've been clinging to or something that we've been trying to sustain, trying to preserve something. How do we release it and just let it go, let it dissolve? It's like something's been trying to end, but we've been clinging to it with that Chariot card. So the quest now for us is to be able to just let it go in a way that is the least painful, right? Kind of a Band-Aid coming right off. Not trying to slowly peel it off. The queens are all about endings. Okay, and this might be an ending that you don't really look back. Okay? I think this is what we're trying to consider. We're trying to understand what we want, what's good for us. What do I need? What do I want? Not worrying about what other people think or what other people want, but taking the initiative now to live our authentic life. How we've been living, which kind of implies, right, that we've been maybe living inauthentically. So the Queen is ready to put an end to that. And maybe there is something specific that you've been clinging to or trying to preserve. It could be a relationship, a job, it could be a belief, it could be anything. But maybe it's kind of in a general way saying, I'm going to stop doing that all across the board. I'm going to stop clinging to things that don't need to be in my life. I'm going to stop trying to preserve something and keep something afloat when it really just needs to kind of sink and be done. So I'm going to live authentically. Yeah. I'm going to believe in myself. I'm going to believe in who I am. I'm going to let my truth and my essence come to the surface. And I'm going to release something, and I'm going to try not to go down with the ship. Something needs to dissolve, something needs to be let go of, and it needs to be allowed to sink, but I don't want to sink with it. So it's going to be a lot of feelings. We're going to process a lot of emotion, but we're going to try not to be overwhelmed or overtaken or swallowed up by those emotions. And that's why the Prince of Cups is skimming over the top of the ocean on this eagle-drawn chariot, but is not diving down into the water. We're not immersing ourselves in that water, but we're partaking of, we're feeling it. We're right there with it, but we're not being identified. We're not uniting with that emotion. We're not going down with the ship. Emotionally, right? I guess, or physically, literally. And so the Queen is processing the ending of something. I think we're processing in a way where we get close to the emotions. We're there with the emotions. We're feeling them, but we're not uniting with them. We're not being overtaken by them. Okay? So these two are very important. Down beneath the surface, you have the Eight of Pentacles. This is the card of caution, a card of prudence. I think you're somebody that doesn't make decisions hastily. You're someone that takes your time, you pay attention to the details, and you sort of you're a very thoughtful person, right? You're very attentive to people's needs. And I think that sometimes we feel taken for granted. Because I think people know that once you're there, it's like, Scorpio, they'll always be around. Doesn't matter how I treat them, they'll always be here, right? I don't feel like that's the way anymore. Yeah. I feel like we're going for a major upgrade. I feel like this is us realizing that we've been tending to a garden that isn't our garden anymore. It's like we've been trying to save this one plant in the garden, but it can't be saved, you know? And I think we realize that, but yet we've been watering it anyway. We've been tending to it anyway. We've been trying to preserve it and keep it afloat and sustain it. You know, we've been trying to stave off entropy. Yeah. And I think that this is a very important quality that you have. It's a wonderful way to be. That you have this sort of devotion to things, and that you understand something's needs. And I think that it does affect you personally when anything that you've been involved with doesn't work out. We kind of feel like, no, I can save it. I can save it. I'll give it more water. I'll hold vigil for it. I'll stay here with it. I'll talk to it. I'll hold its hand. But this tomato plant's dying, you know? And I think we take it very hard because it feels like we could have done more. Okay? And you have that kind of energy about you. You're a very sensitive person. I think we're understanding that we've done everything we could. And I think you're coming to that realization. Yeah. In a way, we're liberating ourselves from this obligation now. Yeah. This is a card of patience and prudence and really attending to the needs of something. But I guess what we have to ask is, why have I been doing that? Have I been, devoting myself and giving my energy to something, being very attentive and attending to the needs of something that really doesn't want to be in my life anymore? Or conversely, that I don't want in my life anymore. Why do I keep feeding this thing? I don't, it's like the cat keeps coming to your backyard, to your door, and you keep feeding it. It's like, wait a minute, I am allergic to cats. I'm a dog person. I got a big dog in the house. I don't want the cat. I think just take the cat in. Anyway, it's not about a cat. But it's that kind of thing where we are still feeding into something that isn't meant for us any longer. So we kind of have to, with that Chariot card, we have to let the thing go. Whether it's a relationship or a job or an attitude or just a way of life or a belief or something that we valued. That now it's become kind of routine that I don't know why I keep attending to this thing. Maybe I don't find the value in it any longer. That's one reason why the only water energy we have is right here inside you. You have to figure out if you still value this thing, and if you do, well, maybe you're going to keep feeding into it. I don't feel like you do. I feel like we have an ending. We have a Chariot behind us. I feel like we're letting this thing go. We're trying to just, if it wants to sink, we're going to let it sink. We're not trying to save something that doesn't want to be saved. We're not trying to keep something afloat that is trying really hard to sink. We don't want to go down with it. Okay? We don't want to be too adversely affected by that. And that's what the Chariot is all about here. In the previous position, in the recent past, maybe a Cancer sign person. It could be a family thing, it could be a relationship, it could be a job. It's something that you've been loyal to. It's something that you've been devoted to, obedient to, something that you've been fighting for and questing for. To the point where I think we're kind of missing the bigger picture because we're so focused on doing that work day to day, kind of the repetition of it. Maybe we've lost sight of the larger garden. We've been so focused on this one tomato plant that is just not going to make it, that we've been neglecting the rest of the garden. Okay, we're focused on this one aspect of life. We're missing the bigger picture. So there is this attempt to keep something afloat, keep something going, to preserve it, to defend it against entropy. And I think what the Chariot is kind of advising here is that we take off the armor. You know, we park the Chariot, take off the gloves and the helmet, take off the armor, and we sort of realize, like, there's nothing else I could have done. I did everything that I could, and at some point we have to let it go. Okay? And this could be anything, all right? But the point is that it's not meant to be in your life anymore. And I think that we're sort of, we're coming to this realization with this Prince of Cups that this isn't my fight anymore. That there's nothing else I can do to keep this in my life. I don't need to cling to this. There's other things. I could be upgrading my life in a big way right now, but I need to let go of this. And we get to that identity, we get to that self-worth, we get to that inner value. What is it we really care about? We've been overvaluing this, and I think that we've been looking at it and kind of not seeing the bigger picture. We've just been, well, I'm attentive to this. It's my duty. I have an obligation. But the real truth might be that I don't value this anymore. It doesn't need to be part of my bigger picture, you know? And so anyway, the upgrade, right? We have up above a Six of Pentacles. Six of Pentacles is harmony. It is a peak experience. I put these in the wrong spot, didn't I? There we go. The Six of Pentacles. You're somebody that has a potential for great success. To me, this is a beacon of light in your life. It's kind of saying, like, come pay attention to me. This is what I really want. This is something that really wants to be in your life, and this is something that you really care about. It's almost like as we say goodbye to this tomato plant, we're sort of like, we're looking up and something else is catching our eye, and we're realizing all the beauty and abundance that's around us that needs our attention. All of those good things in life. To me, this feels like the upgrade. This feels like something very luminous in your life, and you're somebody that has a huge potential in life. It might be something of a financial nature. It's something that you really are looking to manifest. Again, we have this fire and earth connection, right? So, you're somebody who wants the achievement. You're somebody that, like, wants the success. You want to, you don't mind fighting for and struggling for something if it's worth it. But again, with our previous enterprise, we've been fighting and struggling for something that now it's just, we don't even, there's no point in continuing to fight for it. So in a way, this is us identifying what is really of value for us. Okay? You're somebody that, I think you value cooperation. You work well with others. You bring something very important to the table. And this is about the kind of right application of your skills and talents. So it may be a job, financial thing, maybe a career choice, a life path of some kind, but it feels like your skills and talents were being sort of squandered. They were being misused in a way. And it could be we were being taken for granted. It could be that you're kind of feeling that in that past situation you were being taken for granted or only valued for what you had to offer, rather than being truly valued for who you were, who you are, for your real self. Yeah. I think this is the recognition of the real goal that you have in life. This is maybe even us seeing the bigger picture. Looking for that peak experience. Looking for something that resonates with us more. We feel like we're compatible with it. Yeah. This is material success. And I think with this past thing, as much as you put the effort into it, it wasn't going to be successful. It wasn't going to work, whether it was a relationship or whatever, right? So I think we are coming to that truth, coming to that, maybe it's taken us a while to admit that, okay? But now we're focusing our attention on what is here and what is available to us, and where our success can really be won. Yeah. I think you're somebody with a lot of talent, a lot of skills. We're putting them in the right place now. And moving forward into the future position, you've got your Ace of Wands, right? This is an inspiration. This is like a brand new idea. This is like, okay, now that this is gone from my life, I feel a surge of creative energy. I feel an inspiration. I feel a motivation. See, the Queen of Wands is letting go of the past quickly and moving forward with a lot of creative energy. Okay. I think this is the next big idea for you. And here, of course, we have the Ace and the Six. It is that the inspiration and the manifestation, the success, the material success of this idea. Okay? It's like this is what you're really meant to accomplish in life, but we couldn't do this yet because we were still dealing with this. And so again, it feels like it was a misuse of your energy, a misuse of your creativity. You gave your attention to this, but it didn't really deserve it any longer. It didn't need it any longer, or you didn't need it any longer. So this is you now taking your attention back and concentrating on something that is worthwhile. To me, it feels like an upgrade. It feels like a major upgrade. Okay, because this Ace of Wands is your attention, it's your ability to concentrate on something, your ability to focus your energy, kind of laser focus in and apply yourself in any particular direction. It's your salience, it's your ability to focus and concentrate. And I think that it was misplaced. I think that let's stop thinking about the past. Let's think about the future, right? This is something that's coming into your life, something you're identifying that you're going to give all of your attention to, applying all of your skills and talents to it, okay? This is your inspiration. This is your vision now. of what you want, and you trust yourself, you're living authentically, this is what you want. This is what you're setting your sights on. And so this is the big idea, okay? This is the thing that captures your attention. And so I feel like we're moving in a new direction. This is the beginning of a new creative venture, a new inspired endeavor. Maybe it's a romantic relationship. I don't think so, but it could be. This is something that we feel inspired. We forgot all about whatever that was in the past. This is it. This is what we're doing. Okay? Something that really gets us fired up, something that really inspires us. Yeah. And now we're going to talk about the path of the serpent. As we do this, I would like to ask for your subscription. If you haven't subscribed, please do. The readings are free, really supports the channel, and I really appreciate that. Your general energy is the moon, and this is a card of uncertainty. It's a card of a dark doorway. It's like you're looking forward in your life and you're just thinking, I just don't know. So it kind of says that there's a little bit of fear here. And maybe this is the moment before you do this, this realization of your truth. Okay, and you put an end to this thing, and we get fired up about the future. We get inspired towards something new. We set off on a new path. Maybe this is saying, like, I'm clinging to this because I'm kind of scared of not knowing what's coming next. This may not be anything that's working out necessarily, but it's familiar. It's comfortable. I've been doing it so long, I don't know what life would be like if I didn't have this anymore. Because this is a card of uncertainty. The moon is saying, I'm at the edge of a dark wood. And part of me wants to just turn back and just go back to what I was doing before. Go back to trying to preserve something that, it's kind of a lost cause, but at least I kind of knew what I was doing, and at least it was familiar, and like I've been there so long that it's kind of easy now, But we're looking at this doorway and we're thinking, I know that the only way forward is into the unknown. Now this is a divine doorway. We're going to do a divine doorway oracle card. We're being asked to enter the dark, scary forest of uncertainty, of the unknown. And note on love, seek different seasons and enter into the unknown. When love is the focus, foundation, and goal, blessed is the body, mind, and soul. In other words, enter the unknown, because in here you will find what you love, what inspires you. You will find the authentic thing that you value. Here, this is something familiar, something that we know, something that we're kind of comfortable doing, but I don't think there's an authentic love here. Love is the focus, foundation, and goal, and blessed is the body, mind, and soul. Enter into the unknown, because that's where your authenticity is taking you, even though it's scary. There's no purpose here. This is illuminated, right? We have a sun in Virgo energy here. So there's an illumination, there's something familiar. We're being asked to abandon that and go into the darkness. That's scary, right? But that is where your authentic self, that is where your true self is guiding you now. Because that is the only place that you will find fulfillment and inspiration. Okay? This is not something that you really connect with anymore. So I like that. I think the note on love is perfect. And the love is a reference to our water energy, your authenticity. This is the authentic path for you. This is something easier, but it's inauthentic. Okay? So the next card is the Two of Wands. There's a battle. There is an assertiveness that you need to harness. Right? Mars in Aries. You're going to get some pushback. I think the thing that you're letting go of doesn't want you to let go of it. The ship is trying to take you down with it. Okay? I don't know if this is a person. Maybe it's an Aries person. I don't know. Maybe it's the Cancer person. Doesn't matter if it's a person or not. But something is going to try to grab onto you and not let you leave. Yeah, it may be an impulse coming from inside of you. Maybe that something born out of fear. It may literally be another person that is going to protest. Okay. But your authenticity, your true nature is telling you that there's no value in that situation anymore. that you've been putting in all that work. You've been trying to sustain something and preserve something that is sinking. Okay, and of course, there's going to be that part that doesn't want it to sink. We've got to assert ourselves. We have to be strong and courageous in this dark, scary forest as we let go of that thing and let it sink. This is that card of I have to be stronger than something else. Okay? And it's in the position of your relationships and your environment. You have to be stronger than this other thing. Your authentic self has to be stronger than whatever is attached to this past thing. Past relationship, endeavor, project, job, partner, whatever it was. Your will has to be stronger. We need courage going through that dark, scary forest. We have to believe in ourselves, right? This is also the card of control. And as we talk about the magician and this idea of the magician having to adapt to something, the magician can just adapt to this and function here and it'll be fine, but this is a sinking ship. The magician does not need to adapt to this. It's a waste of the skill and talent of the magician. It's inauthentic. There's no purpose here for you. This is not something that resonates with your heart. It's something that's become habitual, but there's no flow, there's no resonance like up here. So this is our control over the environment. This is the magician saying, I have to be willing to change things about my world. I don't need to just succumb to the force of the universe and just adapt to something. I need to push back a little bit and have this it's a two-way flow of creation, right? We're co-creating our destiny. Yeah, I know I have to be changed, I have to be willing to adapt, but I also need to assert myself and make changes and try to influence my surroundings. You see? And the magician is the one that can cause change in conformity with will. It's the art and science of magic, of manifestation. I have to have a will. I have to have an intention to be the magician. And I have to follow through with that. I have to feel like I'm capable, like I have some control over something. We have control over how we behave and how we act and what we do, our sort of positive efforts. And that's what we have control over. So I feel like we've been trying to fight to save this, but this is something that it's not gonna happen. So we're misplacing our attention. We have to put our attention on something that we can change, something that we can control and have influence over. Because again, the magician doesn't need to just adapt. We know that every situation is going to change us. But we have to have some sort of will of our own, Spirit is referencing a pool of water. Maybe a reference to our Prince of Cups here, but I think like a literal pool of water. I don't know if it's some kind of a swimming thing or something wrong with the pool. It's something to do with the pool, the liner of the pool. Yeah, there's a crack or there's a tear in something. Yeah. The magician is the conduit for that authenticity. The magician is how we need to remove whatever's blocking our path right now and let our divine light flow through us. We are the conductor of that electricity, that spiritual circuit of creation. It's got to go through us to reach Earth, It's got to go through our human nature to reach manifestation. Okay? And sometimes when that light comes into us, that divine light, that spiritual impulse, that creative energy comes into us, it gets like jumbled up. It gets redirected because we have all these blockages, all these knots of karma, all these triggers and buttons and weak spots and sore spots, and that light just starts zigzagging all around us until it doesn't go anywhere. And our manifestations don't happen, they don't work. And so part of this work is about us figuring out what our blockages are, what our fears are. Why do we cling to that past thing when we know it's not for us anymore, it's on its way out, where we're trying to hold on to it? What do we need to do to let go of that so that we can try to clear some of those blockages out and have our intention really manifest. There's some feeling of inadequacy, or we don't feel like we are strong enough or smart enough or worthy of manifesting our true will and our true goal. And so we end up just adapting to whatever is around us. It's blending into whatever's already there, rather than saying, no, you know what? I'm gonna point my wand at something and I'm gonna change it. I don't have to just put up with everything that's in life. I have a right to assert myself and to stand up and to make changes and to be in control of my life to some degree. Not completely, not 100%, but to some degree, yeah. Okay. We have to be responsible for building our own life, not just letting it, whatever happens, happens, you know. Because there will be no fulfillment in that. There will be no authenticity in that. Okay. So that's why the magician is in the fear, worry, concern, because we need to take the responsibility for creating our own life. I think we're channeling that energy through us. It's going to be a major upgrade. It really, truly is. You got a lot of really good cards here. Especially that 10 of Pentacles. That is your best life. That is the personal reality that the magician is creating. Okay, this is something that means something to you. It's the 10 of Pentacles. It's wealth. These are the things that hold value for you. There was no value here. I feel like this was an inauthentic attachment, yeah? This is what has real value. This is a major upgrade. We have to go through this magician energy. We have to realize that, we have to adapt to life, that life will change us, but I can change life too. We're not just going to get knocked around and shaped and molded by the universe. We're going to assert our energy, and we're going to strive for the life that we want. And yeah, we have to take, it's kind of like the game of Chopped again. You have to use all the ingredients in the basket. But you also have access to the Chopped kitchen and pantry. Refrigerator and pantry. You can go get other ingredients. You don't have to just take these 4 things and somehow stick them together and say, this is the best I could do. So we have to adapt, but we also have to be creative and innovative and push and assert ourselves and have an identity and be authentic. I could go on that show and I could just take those 4 ingredients and put them each on the plate. Here you go. I made something. Now, where's me? Where's my voice? Where's my identity? Where's my authenticity on the plate? Well, that's the 10. The 10 of Pentacles is the best life that we create out of the materials we're given and whatever else we can find, whatever else we can do, and how we use those ingredients, how we manipulate the universe around us. And I don't mean manipulation in a bad way. I mean how we can physically take things and use them and turn them into something else. Going into the kitchen and pantry and getting other ingredients to put into this. Okay, so we need to take our power. I think this is supposed to be a very empowering idea for you. Somehow is implying that we've been a little bit too adaptable, a little bit too easygoing, tolerating too much. All these things that happen, and yet you're still there trying to rescue this thing. Or if we just let it go, we apply our energy to what is meaningful and valuable and what we authentically want to build in our life, and this is going to be great. Right? This is going to be really, really good. 10 of Pentacles, yeah. Let's look at our mystery card. The 11th position is the guide. It represents the voice of the silence within you, and very often is a message from Spirit telling us what we need to develop within ourselves in order to move forward. I feel like it's going to be some fire energy. It's going to be the Strength card. It's going to be the 6 of Wands. It's going to be maybe a 5 of Wands. It's going to be some confidence and some courage and some willpower. It's going to be fire, I believe. If you have a prediction, put it in the comment section. Let's see what we have. It's not fire. It's the Queen of Swords. The Queen of Swords is, interestingly, it's the inside out of your authenticity. This is air of water. This is water of air. Inside out cards. Okay? So what it's really saying is that we need to recognize where we have been acting counter to our authentic self. Okay? And this is an ending. Again, it's a queen, kind of looking at the past, processing an ending. Okay? Trying to do so in a logical way. It could be that because this is the swords, this is the only appearance of the swords cards in your reading, by the way. You have no other swords, right? So what this is telling me is that we've been rationalizing. We've been postponing an ending. We knew it was coming. We know that something has to end. But intellectually, we've been saying, we've been making excuses. Or we've been saying, no, I'm gonna keep going with this. I can't give up on this. I'm gonna stick with it. I'm gonna keep trying. Or we've avoided the ending, and we've been rationalizing that avoidance. Okay? We've been postponing the inevitable. We've been acting contrary to our own best interest. We've been the inverse of our authenticity. We've been inside out. And I think that we've been making excuses of why we haven't ended something yet. Okay? So this is kind of harsh, but I think it's necessary for us to hear this. Now we're going to do an extended reading as well. We'll do an I Ching hexagram. We'll do some oracle cards. There is a link in the corner. There is a link down below. New readings for Scorpio Wednesdays and Saturdays. Be sure to watch both readings. Subscribe to the channel if you haven't yet. Leave a comment and let me know where in the world you are watching from. I want you to know that you're the most important part of Dove and Serpent Tarot. I thank you and I love you. And we are all in this together.